Hi, it's Paul from howtoplaybass.com here. This is part one of a two-part lesson looking at how to play the bass line to Master Blaster by Stevie Wonder. Great tune, great bass line. Nathan Watt was the bass player in question. In part one of the lesson today, we're going to look at the intro figure, the verse figure, and the chorus. And then in part two of the lesson, which will be in a week or so, we'll look at the riffs that are in the tune, and I'll briefly talk through the deliberate practice strategy for learning stuff like this, because those riffs are really crucial. You've got to get them absolutely nailed if you're going to play this in a band context, because everyone plays the line in unison. If you make a mistake, it will make everyone sound bad and everyone will glare at you. So we'll look at that in part two. Part one, as I say, we're going to look at the verse, the chorus, and the intro. Let's get started with the intro. Okay, the intro. Play it first with a metronome, and then we'll talk through the notes. 2, 3, 4. Okay, stop the metronome. Okay, the first thing to note, what I just played, was the time feel. This tune's got a very strong reggae shuffle feel, so depending on your perception of rhythm and how you define it, you can either think of that as a 12/8 feel or as a 4/4 feel and playing the line in swing eighth notes. Playing along with the original is a great way to get a hold of that feel and internalize it a bit more if you're not familiar with that kind of feel. Shuffles seem to be certainly in contemporary rock music not being used as much as they used to be. The notes are all pairs of octaves. So the first notes, they're C. First ones are being fretted C, 8th fret of the E string, 10th fret of the D string, then down to B flat, which is the 6th fret of the E string, the 8th fret of the D string. Then from B flat, you're going down to A flat, which is 4th fret of the E string, 6th fret of the D string. Then you've got A flat again, then G and F. G is the octave pattern is G is the 3rd fret of the E string, 5th fret of the D string. F is the 1st fret of the E string, the 3rd fret of the D string. It repeats on F, then goes up to C. This time I'm playing C at the 3rd fret of the A string and the 5th fret of the G string, and then finishes on B flat, which is 1st fret A string, 3rd fret of the E string. So that's the pattern. Okay, so that's the intro. From the intro, it again goes to a figure, which is used as like over an instrumental or under an instrumental section in the intro, but it's also the verse figure. So let's go and look at the verse figure. The verse again, 3, 2, 1. Okay, the verse is made up of two 8-bar patterns. The second 8-bar pattern is the same as the first, except for one minor variation, which we'll talk as we go through. Let's play the verse, we'll talk through the notes. 2, 3, 4. Etc. So let's talk through the notes. The first bar, this pattern, the notes are C, 5th fret of the G string, play two swing eighth notes there, and G, 5th fret of the D string, again two swing eighth notes, E flat, the minor third, 6th fret of the D string, play two swing eighth notes there, and then back to the C, so you get. And the second bar starts on beat 2 and plays this figure, which is C, 5th fret of the G string again, open G string, 2 B flats, 3rd fret of the G string, down to the 5th F, 3rd fret of the D string, back to the B flat. So that whole 2-bar pattern, the first 2-bar pattern is and then it goes to a very similar pattern. The rhythm kind of continues pretty much through the verse pattern, but it moves down to A flat, and then G in the second part of that A flat section. Let's look at that section slowly. So you've got A flat, 6th fret of the G string, 2 8th notes there, 2 8th notes, E flat, 6th fret of the A string, 2 8th notes on C, 3rd fret of the A string, then back to A flat, 6th fret of the D string. And then the second, or the answer pattern is, which is A flat, E flat, 6 frets of the D and A strings respectively. Then you've got G and down to D, which are the 5th frets of the D and A string. So the 2 bars in starting A flat go like this. And then the pattern moves down to F, and that's F, C, A natural, back to F. The frets are F, 3rd fret of the D string, C, 3rd fret of the A string, A, 5th fret of the E string, back to F, 3rd fret of the D string. Then you've got, which is F, E flat, F, E flat, B flat, C, B flat, and they are 3 and 1 of the D and A strings. And then the final 2 bars, you've got the 7th bars in C, so it goes C, up to G, down to the low G, which is 3rd fret of the A string for C, 5th fret of the D string for G, 3rd fret of the E string for the low G, and then finally the final part of the pattern, which is just B flat, F, B flat. So those notes: 1st fret of the A string for B flat, 3rd fret of the D string for F, and 1st fret of the A string again for B flat. Now the one variation in that pattern comes in the 3rd bar when you're on the A flat. The first time through it plays as we discussed, but the second time through that pattern is, and you've got a little triplets thrown in there going back up to the E flat. So you go A flat, E flat, C, E flat, C, A flat in this kind of rhythm. And then the pattern goes on. That's pretty much the verse. So the next part of the tune we're going to look at is the chorus. Okay, the chorus. I'll play it through with a metronome, then we'll talk through the notes. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll stop there.